Bayern have played 16 games this season. They've won 14 of them and are also 7 points clear in the Bundesliga. For more on their incredible form, let's bring in the German sports journalist Mark Lovell. He joins us via Skype from Frankfurt. Mark, good to see you. What a fantastic night for Bayern Munich on Wednesday evening. How are they so much better than they were last season?
Well, I wouldn't say they were so much better, Don. They're flying high, top of the Bundesliga. As you say, 9 wins out of 10 in the Bundesliga. They've had a sloppy defeat in the Champions League against Borussia in Minsk. They've added the quality of Martinez, but they'll be looking to go one better than last season. They finished second in the Bundesliga, lost the German Cup final to Dortmund, and of course that very painful, excruciating Champions League final defeat in their own backyard against Chelsea, which they'll really be trying hard to strike from the memory.
Absolutely. What kind of effect do you think that Champions League defeat had on them in the final?
Well, there was a funny atmosphere in the city. There was a lot of trauma around and a lot of heads hanging low, and they invested that money in the top player like Martinez, and for the top quality they already had with Robben, Ribéry, Schweinsteiger, Müller, they'll be looking to go one better than they did last season, that's for sure. And they've also got a top quality rival in the Bundesliga, Borussia Dortmund, as we saw last night, pushing them all the way domestically as well.
Well, that's right. And you've got 3 German teams in the Champions League this season who are all at the top of their groups so far. Do you think that accurately reflects the strength of the Bundesliga these days?
Definitely, Don. It's a thriving league, capacity crowds every week. As you mentioned, Dortmund, who won the title the last 2 years, they're flying high in the group of death against the champions of England, Spain and Holland, and they deservedly got a point last night in Madrid. And their local rival, Schalke, came back from 2-0 down to grab a draw against Arsenal. And all those German sides that you mentioned are on top of their groups and looking good to qualify for the next stage of the Champions League, Don.
Let's just go back to Bayern Munich. I sense you don't necessarily think they're that much better than they were last season. But, I mean, do you see any key differences? And obviously they're playing great at the moment. Do you think they actually will overcome the setbacks they suffered last year?
Don, I think that they will coast to victory in the Bundesliga. That's without question. For me, they had a lot of luck last year getting to the Champions League final in Munich. If they get the luck of the draw and the same breaks, they can reach the final. But I think Dortmund are really going to push them in the Champions League as well. They're a good side too. Don't forget them. Everything was going in their favour last year. Bayern, they had the final in Munich and they blew it on the night. And I don't think everything's going for them in their favour at the moment, but we're only in November and the final, of course, is in May. Absolutely right. Plenty of football still to be played. Mark Lovell, great to see you. Thanks very much for joining us again. Thanks, Don. All the best. Now, the champions had an anxious night at home